I joined the National Guard, and I was actually underage. If they had checked my age, I wouldn't have been able to join, but they never did that, you know. And later on, when we were federalized, my father asked me if I wanted him to take me out because I was still underage. And I said no. It was a thrill because I had always wanted to be a pilot. As a matter of fact, I have a little booklet upstairs that I got with the Quaker tops, Quaker oat tops, you know. When I was, I don't know, must have been in about the 7th grade. And it's titled How to Fly. It was very tough because they purposely washed out a lot of people that they shouldn't have washed out. I got into the P-39, which was one of the fighter planes that we had at the time, but it wasn't very good, so I ended up in Spitfires. We spotted 25 109s above us, and they were actually very reluctant to tangle with the Spitfire because we could outturn them, and the speed were about the same, but we could outturn them. So one of them made a pass way out of range. And a couple of bullets hit my airplane. One of them in the coolant, another one went through my instrument panel into a gasoline tank in front of the instrument panel. So I was bathed in fuel. So I decided to bail out because the airplane was already starting to burn. And the approximately 25 109s were coming in to land at an airfield called near the town of Viterbo in Italy. This airfield near where I landed was a German airfield used by the Luftwaffe, and so they took me there when they were landing, and so I met the guy who claimed to shot me down. I was treated very well then because anytime pilots get a hold of you, they treat you well because they know what you know. It's almost like a camaraderie that goes across the line, you know, and all that. And everybody was coming in and trying to talk to me and all that. And that evening, I was even invited to have dinner at the officers' mess. So I had dinner with them that night, and they conversed with me. And one of the things they wanted to know, he said, "What is a South American doing flying for the United States?" I told him that I was a citizen of the United States from New Mexico. And a very interesting thing happened there because while I was waiting to be interrogated, one of the guard came in, and I was in the same cell with another American, with a blonde guy from New York, and the guard asked him what my name was, and the guy just kind of shrugged his shoulders and he said, "Why don't you ask him?" And the guard said, "You are forcing me to talk to him." He didn't want to talk to me because I guess, Aryan. Aryan, of course, means the white race. The funny thing about it was that this other guy was Jewish, and the guard didn't recognize it as such. One of the things that happened is that I got to see the whole 8th Air Force in full force, flying over our prison camp going to Pinimundi, and 1,000 bombers escorted by about 600 fighters. So that's something that very few people have seen because that's a lot of bombers. And there was a big air battle over our prison camp, and some of the airplanes landed pretty close. That were shot down and landed pretty close to our prison camp. And whenever there was a raid like that, we'd go out and cheer. And after a couple of times, the Germans didn't like that. So whenever a raid was coming, they'd lock us into the barracks and wouldn't let us watch. About a month before the Russians came, we kept hearing the cannon at night when it was real quiet. And every night it got a little bit louder and louder and louder. And about 2 weeks before they arrived there, all our guards, we woke up one morning and all our guards were gone from the guard towers. And by that time, they were mostly 75, 80-year-old men because they just didn't have the soldiers for that kind of duty. So we were there about 2 weeks alone before the Russians came. Well, I think wars are started by certain people who don't necessarily have to go to them themselves, you know. It's the young people that get killed. But I've always had a feeling that we had to go into World War II, and because we liberated countries, we liberated people, and nothing for us particularly. We really didn't have to do it.